Welcome to the Mind Body Business Show. The 3 keys to your success is just moments away. Here's your host, Brian Kelly.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Mind Body Business Show. I am beyond excited for this show, and there's a lot of reasons for it. One is deeply, deeply personal, and that is because of the young man you are about to meet. He is responsible for changing my life in such profound ways. I can't tell you. And I met this gentleman some time ago. We'll get into the details of this amazing guy and bring him on very, very soon. But before we do that, really quick, the Mind Body Business Show, what is that all about? In my now 55 years on this planet, wow, that's kind of weird to say, I have learned a lot. And I began focusing on just successful people in the latter decade or so. And what I found in that latter decade was those who were successful always seemed to follow 3 different patterns. And you might guess what those are. Mind being mindset. They had a flexible, powerful mindset. Body, they took care of themselves nutritionally and they exercised regularly. And business. Business is multifaceted, from sales, marketing, team building, scaling, leadership. That list goes on and on. Successful people have mastered all 3 of those areas. When it comes to business, the good news is they didn't personally have to master each area. They mastered leadership so they could scale and bring in a team that could take care of those skill sets they may not have or have the time to acquire because their business needs them and they need to grow their business. And so that's what this show is about. It's a show by entrepreneurs for entrepreneurs, that being you watching right now. And we have an amazing guest coming on. And I just want to say a few words about this guy in a moment. Yes, I know. That's right. We have another beautiful pattern that successful people always follow. And I'm excited about this one big time because a story I often tell on this show is because of the young man you're about to meet. Reading books is one of the best things you can do for yourself and for your business. And I personally did not read hardly anything at all until about 8 years ago or so. And what changed? Well, I was talking to this gentleman, Mel Cutler, who you're going to see. I was in his place and he was walking around with headphones on. I said, "Hey man, what are you doing?" He says, I'm listening to a book." And back then it was a fairly new concept, at least to me, it was new. And I said, "Wow, that's phenomenal." I started listening to books and I've not stopped. I've voraciously read a ton of books. And with that, I would like to segue into a little quick segment I like to affectionately call Bookmarks.
Bookmarks. Born to read. Bookmarks. Ready, steady, read. Bookmarks. Brought to you by reachyourpeaklibrary.com.
Yes, there you see it to the side of me. It is reachyourpeaklibrary.com. And by the way, for all of you watching live right now, do yourself a favor and stay here with us. And what do I mean by that is you're going to be listening and hearing about a lot of different resources, both from myself and from Mel, more from Mel than from me. And rather than jump over to another tab on your browser or go looking somewhere else on your phone at that moment, just write it down, old school, get a piece of paper and, one of those things they call a pen, a writing instrument, and write it down so you can stay with us and hear us and see us. Because I would really not like it if you missed one of the golden nuggets Mel is about to provide to all of us, because I know from firsthand experience, just one nugget from this young man can literally change your life for the better. And so stick with us to the end. Looking forward to seeing all of your comments, your questions, your suggestions, everything that comes in. I see they're already coming in. We'll get to you in a moment. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. I love you all. Bookmarks. So it's all about reading books. And what I've done is I've compiled a website. And this was done with you in mind. And I'm not kidding. I kid you not. This was all done with you in mind. The person that's looking to increase their success, whether it's business or personal. And I'll scroll down a little quicker. And what you'll see is a list of books that are in here that I have personally read. Every single book that's in this list has been personally vetted by yours truly. So what does that mean for you? Well, if you haven't started reading like I had not some time ago, you can go to this list very quickly and at least know that at least one other successful individual has vetted them, meaning they've read them and got positive results from them. That's a one reason right there. And if you're already an avid reader, you might find a book or two in here that you have not yet read, and you can just go grab one there. This is not a money-making website per se. It is just simply here to help you to grow yourself and your business. It's my gift to all of you. Speaking of gifts, we're going to move into bringing on our special guest in just a moment, and I am so excited for that. This young man, he has formed, I think, 8 companies. His wife will correct us later if I'm wrong. To date, we've all lost count. And a couple of them have reached 7 figures. Very, very successful. And I want to tell you guys something. By age difference, if you were to took my age minus his age, and I'm not going to reveal his, I've already revealed mine, but out of respect, he could literally be my son. And why is that important? It's because even though that's the case and he's much my junior in age, I look up to him in so many ways because he is my mentor. He taught me so many things I cannot tell you. He had a thriving seminar business that I met him. That's when I met him, was in 2012 at his then signature 2-day live event called the Entrepreneur Revolution. And I went to those 2 and 3 day seminars for a good number of years, I guess, a couple of years. I went to every one that he had going that I could make it to. Ultimately began going to all of his advanced courses. These were courses that delivered. They were just massive value. Changed my life inside and out. I cannot tell you. I took all of those courses and then ultimately became part of his inner circle of his company, all the way leading up to ultimately becoming the lead trainer of his company. And then, getting an award like this to say Entrepreneur Training of the Year, because of what I learned from this amazing, amazing man. So I literally attribute my success to what I have now is from what I've learned from this man. He's also a very, very fun guy. And I will just lead you to go to his YouTube channel. We're going to talk about that in a moment. And you'll get to see his personality and how he loves to have fun all the time. And when it's time to be serious, he's serious. But he does have that wonderful jovial side to him, especially when he sings. That's the part I love the most because of his beautiful high-pitched voice. And the thing I think that stands out most about everything about him to me, is how much he absolutely, to his very last cell, adores and loves his wife, Kate. And Kate is his everything, his partner in life. I mean, I was blessed to know them before they were married. I've been blessed to know them since. They are just inseparable. And she is also his business partner. She is amazing in her own right. We'll probably have her on the show and put her in the spotlight because she is the glue that holds Mel's businesses together. And sometimes even Mel himself. We'll talk about that too. I love this. This is going to be fun. So I think it's time. What do you think? Yeah, let's do this. Let's bring on the man, the myth, the legend, Mel Cutler. Here we go.
It's time for the guest expert spotlight. Savvy, skillful, professional, adept, trained, big league, qualified.
And there he is, ladies and gentlemen. The man, the myth, the legend, the one, the only, Mel Cutler.
Where's the confetti, Brian? Where's the confetti?
I forgot to load that graphic. Doggone it. I'll do that next time.
Thank you for that introduction. I really appreciate that. And man, after that introduction, I'm curious to hear what I have to say.
Oh, yeah, you and me both. And I remember the story you told about, I think it was Richard Branson, where he was very curious and he started peppering you with questions when you met him. And you were saying, hey, man, you're the successful one. I want to ask you some questions.
So humble guy.
Tonight, I'm going to ask you the questions, and the comments are flying. This is amazing. Lori Hart's on.
Hey, Lori Hart.
And
Hi, Lori.
Oh yeah, we got Kate. Oh, who's this? This is awesome.
Kate Cutler.
Yes. Claire Karish. Oh, she is an amazing young lady who used to be part of my team. Who just
Hi, Claire.
Yes, and just amazing. Thank you all for coming on, and continue with the comments and questions as we talk. We're going to get a lot of great value here tonight. We're going to have fun too. It's all about having fun in life, and you can have a great thriving business as well. And this is testament to all that right here. This guy always has fun. It doesn't mean every single day is perfect and glowy and, he's in a hammock swaying back and forth with an umbrella drink. That's only, 6 out of the 7 days a week. The 7th day, he's working hard all the time. Yeah, I jest for sure. But Mel, you've been, by your own admission on one of the posts I saw is, to others, it has appeared as maybe you were hiding under a rock.
That's the truth.
And by that, it's like you used to have that seminar business. And how long ago, I was thinking about that. How long ago did you do the transition officially over to what you're doing now?
Yeah. So before we jump into that, which I'm happy to share, I really want to, say, Brian, that you yourself are an amazing guy. And one of the many qualities that you have that I sincerely respect is your openness and flexibility to continue to be growing and learning and always adjusting and being very curious. I believe that your curiosity is why you've done so well. And looking at age is something that is just a number, and living every day and just making consistent progress. And I see that in you, that you have that heart of a true champion and somebody who's just like lets the past go and continuously moves forward. So I just want to credit you for that. And that's why you've built an amazing community. You've had some amazing guest experts on the show. And I just love that about you, man.
I appreciate that. It's a love fest. I'm going to give you a big old hug when next time I see you. Probably a sloppy, wet kiss, too. Warning, warning.
Warning, warning.
But back to you, my brother. And I do appreciate that. I appreciate that very much. Thank you so much. This ride with you has been an amazing one, and it just will continue. It's not going to stop.
Sure.
Yeah, you did a seminar business. I met you in 2012, but you had been doing it for, I don't know how much longer before that, but for a while.
Yeah. So it all started when I came back, basically out of retirement in 2008. Uh-huh. And at that time, I was 25 years old. So out sell a company. And then just had the passion and had the thought and kind of wanted to just give back to the entrepreneur community, people that wanted to start their own business, that wanted to step into their purpose and passion and figure this thing out, where how can you do what you love and make money? How can you create time freedom? How can you live life on your terms? And I got to tell you, it sounds lovely, but it's a serious endeavor, because the moment you step into figuring out doing something you love, challenges happen. They happen right in front of you, and they happen often, and they happen consistently. And you kind of pay the price to do what you love and to live life on your terms. There are certain challenges that pop up that you may be ready for, or you may not be ready for. And your ability to overcome those challenges is what's going to dictate success, in my mind. And so at that time, I read a bunch of books, and I had grown a very successful company, exited out. And now I started to do seminars and workshops. And that was phenomenal, because I got to meet so many people who just needed the right direction and the right message and basically the right strategy. And they were making things happen, which was amazing. And all of the sales and marketing and team building and growing a business is absolutely crucial, but none of that matters unless the foundation in your mind is healthy and the right seeds are planted in your beliefs and your thoughts and your emotions to even be able to motivate yourself, to motivate others, and to be able to sell. And selling, I see, is just being able to ethically and congruently share your value in a way that's more than somebody's dollar, and they're willing to exchange that for your product or service. And that's also marketing, right? Marketing, being able to get your product and service out there to more eyeballs. So I developed this entire educational system, and the mindset part of it was all based in NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, which I'm sure we'll get deeper into how that can change your mind and change your life just by.
We have a freeze frame on my end. So, Mel, if you can hear me, then just refresh your page and come back on. We'll get this thing going. We have a disconnect here. So, this is amazing because this gentleman, you can hear what he's saying. What an amazing guy that I have had the privilege, the honor to actually learn under. I mean, this guy has been the number one mentor in my life. I met him when I was, he said, so 2012. So that was about 8 years ago. I was 46, 47. And that was like the biggest, amazing shift in my life. Was not until I was 47 years old. And so it's never too late. Never think it's too late. Mel will be joining us back here in just a moment. Had some connectivity issues. And just know that, no matter how old you are, it's never too late to start. The gentleman that started Kentucky Fried Chicken, I can't remember the exact age, but he was in his 60s, I believe, when he first started that franchise. And you can see where it is today. And so amazing, amazing things that this young man, Mel Cutler, has done in his very short career. And did you hear what he said? He started at the age of 25. 25, not starting in business, but starting the seminar business. He had already developed several businesses before that. And so the flip side of the coin is you're never too young to start either. And when I first met him, he was about 28 years old. And at that moment, I already was looking up to him. Very young man. And had there was something about him that really stood out to me very quickly, instantly, that I said, I got to know more about this guy. Quick story. First time I saw him was at another seminar that he was not the main speaker at. It was another individual who invited him to be a guest speaker. And I just remember seeing him walk up the middle of the aisle when he was being called up to the stage to speak. And I saw this young guy. He had a fedora on, the same kind of look you see right now with his long hair and glasses, wearing a nice blazer, came up down the aisle and he hadn't said a word yet. And I said, there's something about this kid. I'm thinking to myself, I want to know more about him. And I can't wait to share more of them with you. And hopefully he's reconnecting with us soon to come back onto the show. The thing is, I can talk all night about him, and I may end up doing just that if we don't see him soon. And that's okay. This is another thing he taught me very well at a deep level is being flexible. And, being flexible with everything in life, like right now, is a technology issue. And you just you just roll with it. That's all you do. And it's not a big deal. I mean, I really want to share him with you really bad. I mean, a lot right now. The thing is, he's not available at this moment. He's coming back. I'm sure he's crawling his way back on. And in the meantime, he is an amazing guy, and he's been doing so many things. He's got the seminar business ran from 2008, he said. So I didn't meet him for 4 years after he started that. That tells me a lot about why I saw the quality that I saw the first time I went 4 years later. And then I think it ran till about 2016 or 17, right around that area, before they finally moved on to what he's doing now, which was part of the big reveal that we're going to talk about when we do get him back. I'm going to pull up there. I think he's coming. We have devices not connected. He's making his way back, all the way back, all the way back. And there he is, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, I introduce you again to the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Mel Cutler. Welcome back, buddy. Where'd you go?
I just wanted another introduction.
You got one. So that's the show, everybody. I appreciate y'all for coming. I'm just kidding. No. We're just getting started.
Just getting started.
So we left off around, you were talking about the Entrepreneur Revolution. You said 2008 it started, talking about mindset, NLP. That's kind of where we left off, mindset, the importance of it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, at that time, starting up Success Academy, I created this body of knowledge of entrepreneur education, really from A to Z. And that's where my path crossed with Brian, and really blessed to find somebody who is such a dedicated student, an amazing father, an amazing husband, just well-rounded. I mean, you should see his biceps. He's somebody who takes care of his, he lives it. You know, he what he preaches, he's doing, which is very respectable, because oftentimes you don't meet a lot of people like that. And we taught a lot of students and had a lot of success, and it was a lot of fun. And what happened is it took everything out of me. And it was something I love doing. I love speaking. I love doing interviews. I love educating. I love pouring into people. And it was financially good. It was fulfilling my purpose and my mission. And at the same time, it took all of my energy. And once your energy gets drained and your adrenals are shot, well, when you're at the top of the hill, you start rolling down the hill. And I have to say that my mother was a blessing, is a blessing. And she is somebody who taught me the value of health and being well. And I never listened to her when I was younger. When I was younger, I was very resistant patient, and till I ended up in the hospital. And, you know, sometimes I can be a little hard-headed. Just ask Kate. And so the seminar company, we grew, we built it. It was successful. It was a 7-figure seminar company. We did that from 2008 for about 5 years, till about 2013, 2014. And right at that time, 2014, I remember doing an advanced course. We did a 6-day course, and at the end of it, I couldn't walk. It took me a week to recover from that event. Shortly after, I had my gallbladder taken out. I had my appendix taken out, and I had something called a peritonsillar abscess, which I don't wish on anybody. And that was, I couldn't even talk. It was like, luckily I didn't have surgery on it. They shot me, but I was hospitalized for it. I couldn't talk. I couldn't swallow. Pain level was an 11 out of 10. It sucked. And I thought to myself, something has to change. See, this business, the seminar business, phenomenal business, but it just wasn't scalable, because people wanted me. They wanted me, and they wanted my attention, and they wanted me to teach them. Well, whenever a business depends on you, you can definitely make a good living, but you can't really make a fortune, because it's not scalable. And scalable means that it does not run without you. Well, a very interesting thing happened during that time is, during these intensive seminars, I'm talking about 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, 6-day seminars, I would lose my voice. And I would lose my voice. And when you lose your, voice, and that's your moneymaker, what are you to do? Well, I went to a guitar center in Fountain Valley, close to my parents' house. And I said, what are the singers using? What are the professionals using? And from behind the counter, he pulls out this bottle right here. I actually just used some before the interview. Vocal Eze, basically an all-natural extra strength tea in a convenient bottle. And I sprayed it and I used it, and it saved my life. It literally helped me keep going, and it reduced inflammation in my voice and in my throat, and it was a lifesaver. And I loved it so much, I literally called the phone number on the back of the bottle, and a gal picked up the phone, and I ended up chatting with her. And I'm like, your stuff, however you formulated it, it's a miracle, and it's got to get out to more people. And I had a lot of friends in the industry that were speakers. I had friends that were musicians that were going on tour. And a big thing that they would all tell me is that they would lose their voice, and they needed something. And so I said, hey, have you heard this thing called Vocal Eze? And they would be like, no. And I said, well, you go get yourself a bottle. And I started reselling Vocal Eze, just the throat spray. And basically would buy it wholesale and then resell it. Well, this relationship, I like to call it a cosmic bond that I built with the gal who formulated the product in the first place. She was transitioning out of that company and wanted to sell it. And I looked at Kate and I said, look, Kate, this could be an opportunity here, because this is a product-based business. It doesn't really require us to be present to sell the product. Once we set it up and we sell it, we can sell it online forever, right? It can just sell by itself, basically. What if we bought it? And Kate gave me one of her, very, very inquisitive looks. And I love her for this, because I have ideas all the time, every day, consistently, nonstop. It's hard for me to fall asleep sometimes. Actually, that's why she got me this mug right here.
Have ideas I haven't thought of yet. Yep, I have ideas I haven't thought about yet, for sure. I'm laughing my butt off over here. It sounds so familiar. Keep going, brother.
She's my first line of defense. So she shoots down some ideas, most of my ideas, very gently, very, very gently. And she's my partner. She is, nothing happens without her. She's just amazing. She's my travel partner, the love of my life. She is my social worker. she's everything to me. And I just wish that everyone could, have their own Kate, because life would be so much better.
Can you figure out a way to sell that so we can all have our own Kate?
Yeah.
Nice. You are the marketing genius, so let's figure that out. I know Kate's probably watching back there somewhere, so she can start formulating ideas with you right now. How can I clone myself and provide myself to others? Hey, do you know this person?
Hey, Mama Shanti.
Oh gosh, she is so amazing. I love your mom so much. It was so great to spend that time with her and Big Bear, get to know her better. She is such a wonderful, beautiful person. I love your dad too. He's hilarious as heck. And here we go. Yep, Kate's watching, trying to figure out how to double myself and triple myself. Aren't we all?
Brian, I gotta say, I'm very fortunate to have two amazing parents, and these are very special people who immigrated from Russia and basically escaped persecution from Russia, fled, and thankfully ended up in California via Toronto. So I was born in Toronto, and when I was born with something called cystic fibrosis, which is a genetic disease, affects the lungs and digestive system. And actually, when I was growing up, the life expectancy was 13 years old, and now it's 37 years old. And I'm proud to say I'm 37 years old, and I have a long ways to go. And it's because my mom always pushed me to stay healthy, be healthy, pay attention to what you put into your body. Your body is your temple. It's going to give you feedback. If you put crap in, you're going to get crap out. And I had to learn that lesson. I'm still learning that lesson over and over and over again. And, both my parents, they're Russian immigrants, and they came to the US with basically nothing. And they're the hardest workers. And they always, always told me, Mel, you're in America. Like, this is the land where you get your butt up, go out there and make it happen. Because other people in other countries don't have that opportunity. They can't just start up a business one day from an idea. They just can't do it. The government won't let them do that. If you're born into a certain class, you stay in that class. You don't evolve from there. Here in America, there's no such thing. You just need to get your butt up, follow a proven blueprint, follow other people who've been successful. And is it going to be easy? No one said it's going to be easy. As a matter of fact, when you align yourself with your purpose and passion, it's going to be hard. You're going to be tested over and over and over again to make sure that's what you want. So it's going to be challenging. But both my parents, by all means, middle class, and they financially didn't have the answers, but they always push me. The answers are out there. Be resourceful. That's the number one gift that my parents gave me is the gift of resourcefulness. Go out there and figure it out. You want to make more money? Go out there door to door and go start selling stuff. And that's what I did as a kid because I wanted stuff. My parents couldn't give me that stuff, or they just, didn't. And I had to get resourceful. And sometimes I got angry at them, but that didn't help. And I had to finally figure it out myself. And now I thank them for that.
Yeah. And parents are amazing if they are supportive. And the cool thing about your parents, like you said, is, even if they had the financial wherewithal, they might not have said, here you go, son, here's some money and go enjoy life. They probably would have said, continue to figure it out on your own, because that's what we all need, is that kick in the butt. Because too often, and I'm guilty of this being a dad myself, I would give too much of myself, of my resources, and not require that they go through the heavy lifting on their own. And now that they're grown, I'm getting tougher in that regard. It's a little late, but we'll still work on it. But
never too late.
We have a ton of people coming in. Like, this was early on in the show. This is Abdu. Only 10 minutes in, we already have too many knowledge bombs. Yeah. What you guys are listening to, I am so blessed to be able to share this man with you, Mel, because he's back in his element. This is like watching him on stage again, listening to him. I'm getting goosebumps again because it's bringing back all these amazing memories. I remember cramming night before it was my turn to go on stage and train his material. In fact, I would use the Bible of the Entrepreneur Revolution, which was the Big Boom book, to do that, and just scour this thing, listen to his audios and everything. And I've heard him talk so many times about topic of business, personal development, and all this, and it never gets old. And that's one of the things you also taught me, Mel, was repetition is the key to mastery. I've never forgotten that. And I teach it myself.
This is what I found out, is not only is repetition, you're absolutely right, Brian. Repetition is mastery. And as you get older, because we all do that, more repetition, easy for me to say, is even more important. Because there's a tendency, this is a human tendency, is to fall into our deep-rooted negative patterns as we get older. We become more complacent. Our brain becomes more hardwired as we get older. And that's why repetition and reprogramming your brain as to who you want to be and who you should be, as opposed to who you were, is of the utmost importance. And that book, man, is, I'm not just saying this because I gave birth to that book, but that book is one of my favorite books. And the reason is because I added a lot of interactive elements for you to actually take part and be a part of that book. It's not just something you read, it's something you do and then become.
Yeah, it's actually got almost like what we call a built-in workbook to certain sections of it, where you actually participate and actually write some things down. There's a quick snippet. We'll go that way. And so you can go through, use this book, and without ever having to go to one of Mel's seminars, now you can replicate yourself and scale through your book. And you've got some other amazing resources that I know you're talking about bringing back to the table, which I'm really excited about too, that all cover everything that's talked about in this book in an advanced way. And like I said in the onset, I have been through every advanced course this gentleman put on. I spent many of thousands of dollars, and gratefully so. I have zero regrets, not one. In fact, I would tell Mel that you're not charging enough, because the impact it had on my life is so profound. I won't say was so profound, because it continues to be. It's a lifelong. And so stick with Mel, stay connected with him, because he's going to be able to avail the very resources I experienced to you in the very near future. And I'll be helping in any way I can, Mel, to get that out there, because it's that important for people to get their hands on this. It's amazing stuff.
So during the times that I was doing events, I don't do any events anymore. And during the time that I was coaching people and I don't take on any more clients, I had a coach myself. And this coach told me, Mel, why don't you look at buying businesses and flipping them? doing, we hear about that in real estate. You can buy a house and fix it up and then sell it. Why don't you do that with a business? Right at that time is when I was getting sick and I had surgery and I couldn't do workshops anymore. And I made that phone call to the phone number on the back of Vocal Eze, and that gal who created that company wanted to sell it. She wanted out. And I said, okay, well, why don't we buy it somehow? What is that going to take? And we started that conversation. And my mentor at that time was somebody who was an expert at M&A, mergers and acquisitions. And he mentored me through this process of actually buying my first business. And we ended up buying the assets to Vocal Eze. And this was at the end of 2014. And what ended up happening is when I couldn't do any more seminars, I couldn't do any more workshops. It was taking too much out of me. We acquired a company and then started to grow that and stepped into a product-based business as opposed to a service-based and as opposed to an info-based company, which is completely different. And we had to learn manufacturing. We had to learn about distribution, warehousing, logistics, chain supply management, all these supply chain management, and all these different things that we never knew. I mean, how does one learn all this? Well, you just jump into it. And thankfully, we have Google. Thankfully, we have YouTube. Thankfully, we have Audible. We got books. You dive in. And what becomes unknown and scary then becomes known and familiar. I'm going to repeat that again. What becomes unknown and scary, because oftentimes what's unknown is scary, then becomes familiar and you become confident. And then you carry on like you knew it. That is the process of learning. And if you can actually enjoy that process, you'll enjoy life, because that's what life is. It's just very cyclical. You're going to have your ups, you're going to have your downs. And when you have your ups, can you enjoy? Can you save some money at that time? Because you're going to have some downs. And in your downs, can you enjoy that? And can you get back up and get back on the horse and do it all over again? And so we acquired the assets to Vocal Eze. I was just recovering out of the hospital. And we started this. Kate and I looked at each other and we're like, look, we want to build something that doesn't require our exchange dollars for hours. And we want to build something that is more product based, so it sells, like we can work it and sell more. But if we don't, and we want to take a week or two off, it will run without us. That was very, very important. And it's almost like we were forced into it, really. Yeah. And when you're forced into it, you just have to make things happen. So at the time we were growing Vocal Eze, it was doing very little in terms of e-commerce sales. I mean, like under $500. And we grew it today. I took a look at the numbers before this call. Last month, we did over $21,000 in sales. And that's month after month, month after month after month.
And so I'd like to interject that is due to the Mel and Kate hustle. They are hustling all the time, nonstop. They're going to all of these massive musician conferences, NAMM, in both in Tennessee and in California, nonstop. These guys work tirelessly. The work ethic is incredible, given what this young man's going through every single day, both health-wise and everything that's going on with him. I just wanted to relift you up again and let people know that this is an example that you want to follow. I always tell my team, you model a success, just model success. Don't reinvent the wheel. Don't reinvent it. Just model success. So when I found Mel, I grabbed onto both of his ankles and I haven't let go. He still has the fingernail marks because they're always there. And just do that. Find someone like Mel. He probably doesn't have time to do it for any other people at the moment. He's got a whole different shift, as you can see. He needs to take care of himself and his wife and their lives. And the thing is, though, I've learned everything I know from him. And so just model success. Please don't try to reinvent the wheel. There were a couple things you said. Didn't mean to cut you off there, Mel, but I wanted to jump in and say, you know, you said 2014, And I know that the entrepreneur revolution did not stop in 2014. And so I wanted to put that out for folks to let them know that it wasn't like chop off one arm to grow another. It was grow one steadily until it was time that they could make that transition. So that's very intelligent. It's like, I liken that to, I've seen gurus on stage actually tell people that had full-time jobs to quit their job that day. Quit their job and become an entrepreneur. I'm like, wow, that is the worst advice ever. You got to be prepared. There's got to be responsibility. So that I loved. And then you talked about the downs, ups and downs, and that one thing I remember from your teaching, and that I reteach this, learn, do, teach is the three pillars. And that is, we always think something's happening to us, oh, that happened to me, or he did that to me. Well, if we just reframe that and say that happened for me, then you can use that as a growing moment in moving forward. So I'm just parroting what I've learned from this gentleman right here. So imagine his mouth's moving and he's saying all this because that's where I got it from. He's an amazing guy. And I wanted to real quick give people some props for coming on and saying hi. Remember this young lady?
Yeah, Fifi Rose.
Yes, is in the house. Let's see. Your mom was giving some great additional words of advice and wisdom, but she was also your RN, or not your wife, your mom. And then she also said, definitely, she agreed, don't spoil your kids. And then Claire, she wrote us a nice book. She said, my friend's young daughter is fighting CF. It is so encouraging to see how well you are doing and the wise words of your mom. I'll be sure to share with her for hope and encouragement. And so she's got a nice link there. So for those of you that watch this later, you can watch the recording. You can just pause it there and grab the link and use that to help donate for a great cause. And then, yeah, your wife, I did mention her name, but I had that up a little earlier. She's on there. I don't know if you saw that she said that. You're an inspiration to everybody you touch, even this guy, Richard Barrier,
Richard Barrier.
And I don't know if you saw this young man either, but Mr. G, Stan G.
Oh, Stan. Thanks for coming on and watching.
It's fun. It's like a reunion because all these people, I know them personally, and it's fun just to kind of hang out with you and them. Oh, and I don't think you saw this one, but this is another one of my team at the moment. She is crushing it on YouTube. I'm going to connect you with her because she has found a way to do it in a very short period of time, 100% organically. It's just amazing people. And that's another thing to say is like, when you're an entrepreneur and you have friends like Mel and you have friends like Fumilola, who is the name behind this one, Extra Steps CEO, is you help each other when you can. You give resources out and you give each other a hand. Mel, I've told you many times, and I still to this day will, anytime you need help, anything, I'm a phone call away and I'll help you out, brother, in any way I can. But I just wanted to interject a little bit of additional wisdom that you project that has permeated my life. And because of the love you have, I am where I am today. And I appreciate you, brother.
Thank you. That means a lot coming from someone like you, Brian. Appreciate it.
I'm going to start crying.
No, don't do it. Don't do it, brother. Don't do it. Should I share a little bit about how we've grown the company since we acquired?
I don't care what you say after. Should I share a little bit? The answer is yes.
All right. Well, I'm going to share a little bit about how I literally applied what I put in this book, how to grow and build a business, to the company that we bought. So the company we bought was a company that really needed help also. It was in retail distribution, but it wasn't really online. Sales were low, and it needed some sales and marketing and branding help. That's why we actually got it for a really good price. And once you know these skills, and you can apply it to any business. Now, we live in a day and age where there are baby boomers that are retiring. They have successful businesses and their kids don't want to take over their business. So that means that there's an opportunity for you to potentially acquire a company that is already in revenue, means that it's making money. So how do you take either a company that you just started or one that has legs, you're making money, it's doing well. How do you take that and amplify it? So let's talk a little bit about that. The first, number one thing is mindset, but I'm sure you guys hear that often, but it's very important. So you need to look at what your limiting beliefs are. Do you believe it can be $1 million company? Do you really believe it can be a $10 million company? And if you don't believe that, then it's never going to happen. You have to believe it, and then you need to put a plan according to your belief system. So let's say you have the mindset down. You have your limiting beliefs out of the way. Emotionally, you're able to grow a team. You're somebody people want to follow, and you have the skills in sales, marketing, and team building, right? Because as an entrepreneur, you kind of need to be the jack of all trades, especially in the beginning, and you at least need to know about a little bit about a lot of things, so you know what you're talking about, and you can make sure that you're managing people to do the right job in the right time frame. So the key here is to, as soon as we acquired Vocal Eze, we asked ourselves some questions, and remember that the answers are always in the questions. The answers are always in a well-stated question. So if there's something you're missing in your life right now, it's because you're not asking yourself a well-crafted enough question. So if you keep asking yourself, why am I not making enough money? That is not the question. That's not a powerful question. A more powerful question is, who am I not serving with my products or services? That takes us to marketing. So market to serve. Who is the demographic that will be raving fans of your product or service? That's who you want to go after. For example, musicians love our vocalists, singers, choral groups, they love our product. So they need it, right? They not only want it, they need it, right? There's a big difference between somebody who just wants it and somebody who's singing 3, 4, 5, 6 days a week and they get sore, can't perform, they need something. That's when we want to catch them. That's when we want to offer them our solution. So that's what we've been focused on, and that has worked very well. With social media, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram is a big one for us. You find your clients where they're at, and then you position yourself to offer them your product and service in a way that you're serving and not selling. What that means is it's more of a collaborative, and you need something that you are offering them first to build trust, social proof. So social proof in any business is absolutely important to make sure that somebody else is saying, hey, this product is great. So we're always recording testimonials. We're launching videos with artists, not about our product, but about them, about sharing their mission and journey as a musician, and then what are the challenges they go through, and then weaving in our product. So it's actually a video that's of value to other artists, but with our product placement. So find a market that needs your product, not only wants it, but needs it, and then become the expert in education, in educating, in vocal. For us, it's growing to be a vocal wellness education company. Here it is, for vocal coaches. So vocal coaches have our customers. They are our customers. They're already a POI, which is a person of influence. And how can we add enough value to grow their business? If we can help them grow their business, then taking on our remedies and selling them and supporting their customers is going to be a no-brainer. And then that builds our sales force. So that's something I want you to think about, is how can you empower others grow their business through your business? And that is really the science of marketing. The next step to think about, and look, I'm still growing. I'm reading books all the time. I'm still learning. I don't have all the answers. All the little that I know, that's worked, I'm sharing with you, and hopefully you take a little bit of that and you can make that work for yourself. The second thing is find a product that's selling, right? That's a big one. Entrepreneurs oftentimes, they think that they need to invent something or figure something out that's, you know, we think our ideas are the greatest ideas since sliced bread. Well, that may or may not be true. Isn't it easier just to find something that's already selling, maybe make it a little bit better, or sell that exact thing, and then you know that's already selling? So a big part of our business is on Amazon. It's on Amazon. And the throat spray, Vocal Eze, was not doing too well on Amazon, but there was some interest. So this past year, we focused on, we knew Amazon was a channel we wanted to get involved in. We knew that it was like we ship them product, they sell it for us. And we knew that the brand was recognized a little bit on Amazon. So we wanted to grow that. That's what we did. Now, we started to sell one bottle. But the thing is people started to like one bottle. We knew that, well, then they might want to buy 2 bottles. They might want to buy 3 bottles. So we created different packages of the same product. And it kept selling more and more and more. And then we thought to ourselves, let's stay focused. What's our core brand message? The brand message is bringing natural vocal wellness to visionaries, people that are out there hustling, they're on their mission, they're on their purpose, they're trying to make it, they're doing their best, they're going against the grain, they're people that are just bold, you know, they're speakers, they're teachers, they're empowering the next generation, they're musicians, they're sharing their gifts. How do we put the brand around that? What is the message around that? And so for Vocal Eze, it's specifically vocal wellness. Everything that we make is for vocal wellness. And our goal is to lead that category. We're really creating that category because it didn't exist really before us. And one thing that's in that vocal wellness category that I was keeping an eye out, that I knew I basically almost was certain would sell, were throat drops, lozenges. People love lozenges. As a matter of fact, people love lozenges more than the throat spray. And so we took the best of the best ingredients and made the best throat lozenge, in my opinion. They're delicious. They work really well. And we took Manuka honey, which is a high quality honey. We put it into a throat drop. We launched it on Amazon and it took off. I didn't come up with that idea. I reversed engineered it, really. You know, like I just looked on Amazon, I saw that was selling, and I kind of reversed engineered it, find the distributor, find the manufacturer, find the packaging, put it all together, and then hired a designer, and then it turned out to look something like this. And do you see, it's specifically for dry, scratchy, overused sore throats. So if you know you get a dry, scratchy, overused sore throat, this is for you. And at the top, helps fight vocal fatigue and soreness. So it's the messaging on the package is for people who use their voice for a living and rely on it and need it. And not only is it's all about preventative care. That's what we really want to hit home on. So we launched that. We launched a couple other products, some Manuka honey sticks, and before you knew it, Vocal Eze has now become a trusted brand to people who need to keep their voice in tip-top shape. So we brought it to market. All of that, what I just mentioned, is how do you bring more of what your market wants to market? And for us, Amazon was a big way. And then we brought on somebody to manage all of our Amazon business. And then you can go deep down the rabbit hole into one sales channel and do very well. And that's another point that I want to bring up, is that sometimes we spread ourselves too thin on things that aren't working well. In every business, 80% of what you do is going to be, well, I'll say 20% brings 80% of the profit. Okay? There's 20% of what you do could be picking up the phone and making the calls that bring in 80% of the profit, 80% of the revenue. So for us on the e-commerce side, because we're also in retail stores, 20% of our efforts back in the day were focused on Amazon, but it was bringing in a good amount of revenue. So we're like, well, Let's focus on that. And it was difficult for me to say that because there were so many other things I wanted to focus on. And then Kate came into the picture. That's why we all need a Kate. And she said, Mel, let's focus on this. Let's grow this. Let's build this to where it can be, multiple six figures a month, because it did have that potential. And that's what we did. We focused on Amazon. We're still focusing on Amazon. We haven't even got Amazon to where it can be or where it should be. And that's just one channel, focusing on just that. So as an entrepreneur, ask yourself, what are you currently doing 20% of your efforts that are bringing 80% of the money, and just do more of that. Take that. Imagine if you took 20% and did it to 50. Imagine if it was 80%, how fast that would grow, that much faster.
That's amazing. You took in a completely different industry. You went from the seminar business into selling physical goods online, and you just found a way to make it work. It didn't happen overnight, but I wanted to bring up the fact that it's all based on everything you'll find in here. And so anybody can do this. All you have to do is apply the principles and do the work. Actually do the exercises that are in this book. It's called Big Boom for those of you listening on a podcast. It's gold. It's like I've heard the E-Myth Revisited is called the Business Bible. I think this one is more of a business Bible than that. And it's also, business is about relationships. And so it's not just going to impact your business life. It also will profoundly improve your personal life with everyone. It did for me. I'm saying it as a product of the product. And so many things. My goodness, it is awesome being back together, brother, because the nuggets are flying. I've got writer's cramp. I'm taking notes and I'm running the show. But mindset, you start off with mindset. That's why I brought the book up. It all starts with that. This is the differentiator that you had. When you came on the scene into my life, which was, you were on the scene much longer before I even met you, about 4 years. But the first time I saw you speak, you talked about things that no one else I ever saw talked about from stage. I've got lots of lanyards and badges to prove I've been to many seminar events, and you know this well, Mel, before I even met you, and then after I did a few more. But no one ever went as deep as you did into the mindset part of the equation. And once, it just clicked. I said, I'm missing something. They keep giving you the tools, how to crank the handle, but they don't tell you how to reprogram your mind for yourself. And I didn't know it existed. I didn't know it was possible. And then this guy walks into my life and I thought, this is it. This is the missing link. And I'm here to tell you that is absolutely the truth. It is the missing link, is getting your mind cleaned out and permanently reprogramming your mind for success in both business and personal life. And yeah, I got writer's cramp. Delegating, manage. So, you just learned. You went and you hustled. You figured out how to do all this stuff, fulfillment. I mean, I watched as you filled a warehouse floor with pallets of this wonderful stuff called Vocal Eze. And it's just been so fun watching and following as you guys progress. And then when you told me not too long ago that you were pulling in that much a month, I thought, good Lord, this guy is amazing. And this gal, you and Kate both, what a team. The thing is there's hope for everyone out there. All you have to do is model success. And I don't know if I've said it before, but you should read this book. By the way, you know what? I do have, let's see, here we go. Let's put that up. For those of you that want to grab a copy of the book, you can go to that link. And Mel's got a gift for you. We'll talk about that in a minute. For anyone that picks up his book and then emails him the receipt, we'll give you the information here in just a moment. We're already at the hour, but because you fell off for like 52 minutes, we're going to go another 52 minutes to make up.
Let's do it.
There's so much more. And this is the thing, I got to spend 2 and 3 full days with this man multiple times a year in his seminars. And, the message was similar, but not always identical. And repetition is the key to mastery. It was like food. It fed me, my brain. And then going through all of his advanced courses, which I'm excited to hear. Well, I'm not going to let it out, but there's a great thing that's going to be happening with that as well. And I just want to say I'm the product of the product. Here's the honey. It's an open package. I actually do consume it. I love it. Vocal Eze, I have this at my desk at all times. I'm on camera quite a bit. working with my team with Zoom meetings as well. And I'm constantly using that. And then I also love this thing called Lip Ease. You haven't talked about that yet. This is a lip balm, and it's, oh my goodness, it's so creamy and just, and it's all natural. That's the thing. Another thing I love about it. There's nothing in here that's going to harm you. It's just going to help you. The whole line. And I'm out of drops. I love those drops too. Those are amazing. I was telling them before the show. I just wanted to point out that, just all you have to do is model success. Please, I beg you, don't try to reinvent the wheel. Get the book and start there. If you have any questions on it, and if Mel doesn't have time to field questions, come to me. I know this stuff inside and out now. Thanks to this guy right here. Oh, here's a question. All right. This is a great question from Abdu. Any tips on how you go about researching a business idea or for a particular product?
Yeah. Go to the number one store online that people are buying from, which is Amazon. Get onto Amazon and you can start actually typing. So first of all, you can use the search as a tool, right? You can search, right? You can kind of do it the long way because there are tools for this, and I'll give a resource of a tool that I use. So first of all, you can just search. So let's say I knew that, like when I would type in Vocal Eze throat spray into Amazon, there would be ancillary products that would pop up that Amazon would give me the information saying that, hey, somebody who bought Vocal Eze also bought this and also bought that and also bought this. One of them may have been like, they bought Vocal Eze, but they also bought this tea. They bought Vocal Eze, but they also bought Hall's, lozenges. So right there, it kind of got the wheels turning like, okay, well, if they're buying a throat spray, they're also buying lozenges, they're also buying a tea, I probably want to dig into that a bit deeper. Then I would find the best products, and then I would read the reviews, and I would read the reviews, but I would read the negative. I would read a product that was very heavy on positive reviews, but had some negative ones. And I would read those negative ones, and I'm like, okay, well, that's how you make the product better, is don't do those things. The menthol was overwhelming, so we didn't make the menthol overwhelming. We made it very well-rounded. This and that. However, the honey tasted artificial. Okay, well, we got the best honey, so it tasted like high-quality honey. So that's the way that we did the research. If you're looking for a product and you're starting from scratch, and you're interested in Amazon, I would research Jungle Scout. And Jungle Scout, if you just go onto YouTube and type in Jungle Scout $1 million case study, this guy, Greg Mercer, teaches you for free. I love the guy. He teaches you for free his step-by-step process, how to find product, how to source product, how to get it made, how to make it a little bit better, and then how to ship it to Amazon. And it's literally all hands off. Amazon sells it for you. Now, you do need some money to do this, okay? You need at least $5,000 to do this. Not like you're not paying him $5,000, you're paying for the product. So you do need some money to start up an Amazon business for sure, because it's a product-based business and you need some capital for inventory, among other things. So definitely make a little bit of money, and then you just reinvest it into buying more and more. But you can look at Jungle Scout, $1 million case study, Greg Mercer. He's phenomenal. They've done maybe 4 or 5 of these case studies, which are amazing. I watch them. I learn something new every time. And then he does have a software. It's like a plugin. I pay for it. You don't have to, but it just makes finding product and sourcing product and figuring out who manufactures it and finding out actually how many sales are on Amazon very easy. So it's a plugin, and you click on it when you're in Amazon. It brings up all the data, and so he does have like a paid software that you can use as well. I hope that answers your question, Abdu.
My goodness, if it doesn't, I don't know. Is that like a Chrome extension then, the plugin thing?
Yeah, It's
Okay.
Chrome extension. Yeah.
Wow. I can't tell you how many amazing extensions I have acquired that do some amazing things that automate and help me grow my business. So that is actually exciting to hear, especially for anyone and everyone who's looking to sell product on Amazon. It can be an extremely lucrative thing to do. We got proof right here. Many have really crushed it on Amazon, and it does take strategy. It takes time. You can't just put together a product, slap it up there, and expect to rake it in. You've got to put some work into it. And this is a perfect example right next to me of that has to happen. And like to be honest and truthful with people that, again, success takes work. It takes time. It takes effort. It takes the ups. It takes the downs. It can strain relationships for sure. I'm saying that from personal experience. It just, if you don't have the right mindset to handle all of that, if you're not prepared well enough, and I'll do it again, if you haven't read this book and applied the everything that is in here, then yes, then be sure to go out and get the book. There's the link again. We'll talk about the wonderful gift in a moment.
Yeah.
And then,
can we talk about the gift? I want to give a gift for the action.
This guy loves gifts, and now he's giving a gift. Yes, let's do that.
Okay. So for anyone that decides to get my book, just follow that link. It's you can find my book for probably under $10. I think that takes you to Amazon. Just get it. You'll love it. Okay. If for any reason you don't love it, I'll send you your money back, even though, there's other, just get the book, But I want to do a very special gift because first of all, I want to reward action taking because nothing happens without taking action. You got to take action. You got to fail fast. That's how you succeed. You fail, and then you'll do something that works, and then you just do more of that, and hopefully that leads to more success. But you have to fail, and you got to fail fast. The only way to do that, you got to take action. So for people who take action, get the book, I'm going to hook you up with actually 2 totally free gifts. These 2 books. This is what you're going to get. So I can't do this for everyone who gets my book, but when you get my book, okay, so get my book, send Kate the receipt that you got it on Amazon. So just take a screenshot, send her the receipt. What I'm going to do is I'm going to ship you these 2 extra books for free. I'm going to pay for shipping. I will ship these to you, and I'll pay for the books. They're both by a gentleman by the name of John Warlow, who has, by the way, an amazing podcast by this same name, Built to Sell. All he does is he interviews people how they built up their business and then sold it for $10+ million. Right? It's less about the amount that they sold it for, even though there's people on there who sold it for hundreds of millions. And it's more about how he interviews them and the mindset that he elicits from these very successful entrepreneurs. So this book is how to build a scalable business. This is like a story, and how every product should have a service that it sells, and how every service should have a product that it sells. Very powerful book. If you run a service-based business right now, it's very hard to scale that. He teaches you in this book how to do that, because typically a company that you sell, which eventually is when you actually get the major ROI, is when you sell a company, is when you'll receive your biggest return on investment. He'll teach you how to sell a service-based business. Very, very, very good book. That's in this book. Then in this book, The Automatic Customer, also by John Warlow, which, by the way, I paid a lot of money and I did a 2-day event with him. I'm talking about $10,000 to do a 2-day event with him in Toronto. And this book, The Automatic Customer, create a subscription business in any industry, is all about how do you make reoccurring money? How do you make money that comes in month after month? And there's 9 ways to create a reoccurring revenue system, nine kind of concepts, how you can apply them into your business. He talks about it in his book. I'm going to send this book to you free. I'll send this one also to you totally free, totally free, totally free. All you have to do is go to that link, go onto Amazon and get the book. Okay? That's it. That's all you got to do.
And how do they notify Kate?
All you have to do is email Kate at greenpeakwellness.com.
I'll put that up.
Okay. Just like magic.
You speak it and it appears.
Is that kind of cool? I just wanted to reward people who are massive action takers and want to support their education. And those are 2 books that made a big impact for me, and I know it will for you too.
That's phenomenal. Yeah, Stan agrees. Says great books. I've got, and both of those are on Reach Your Peak Library that you just brought, all 3 of them. So Built to Sell, Automatic Customer, Big Boom. And I'm sure I got those references from you back in the day when we were doing our fun stuff together. And yeah, consume those. I should go back. I want to reread both of them actually. But Built to Sell, that was a game changer for me mentally. Like, wait a minute, this is my baby. I don't want to sell it. And that's often how we all go into business to begin with. It's everything to us. And the cool thing is if you take a step back and realize, well, even though you may not even sell it, what if you put that mentality that you are building it to sell? It removes that emotional connection so that you can crush it. Because when the emotional connection is there, it's going to just do nothing but stymie your efforts. It's just going to hold you back. And that was a huge learning moment for me.
That's very, very key, Brian, is maybe you'll sell, maybe you won't, right? Maybe you will, maybe you won't. It's okay either way. That's just like a personal decision you'll make. But every business should be built as if you're going to sell it, because then that makes the business scalable, not reliant on you. You've put teams in places, sales and marketing are automated, and things are moving and running without you. You're not micromanaging. And if you wanted to take a month off, you could. Well, that's a type of business that will want to be bought by somebody, whether you decide to sell it or not. Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. Great. I mean, incredible advice. Clara was saying her brother's in audio engineering and having artists in his home. I'll order him some to have in hand. Well, you know what? I think we have something for you too, Claire. Let me pull that up because Mel has set something up so that you can get 15% off if you want to grab any. And so this show was not put on here in order to sell stuff. It's just that these are resources I know personally can help you. This was my idea, not Mel's. It's his company, his products. And I want to share the wealth of this amazing line of products. So you can get Vocal Eze, Lip Ease, the honey sticks, the lozenges, any or all of them. I recommend all of them. I've tried them all and they're all amazing. I had a honey stick right before we came on the show and it soothed my throat. And then I put Vocal Eze in there. I've got Lip Ease going when I get off the camera because they're drying out. Everything you need to run a business and do it with healthy. Look at that. Yeah, like that product placement. That was good. It is a great resource for you. You're all speakers, whether you think you are or not. You're on the phone. You're talking to people. You're pitching your wares. You're pitching your service. We're all salespeople as well, by the way. You're always selling. Where are we going to eat, or who's going to do the dishes? There's so many things, nuggets that I've learned, and every one of these that I am verbally saying out loud, I kid you not, I learned it all from this guy right here, because, I made my stamp in the corporate world. It's like just, I hate corporate world, and everything about entrepreneurs was appealing to me. Especially the risk-taking part of it. I love that part. I'm like, let's go for it. Whatever happens. I'll still be alive. God will take care of me. I'm going to be all right. I'm going to do it smartly, of course. But let's just go have fun. And if we don't go have fun, if we don't actually go for it, nothing's going to happen. It's like a ship that's in the water that's still and not moving cannot recorrect its course because it's not moving. If you're moving and you're going in the wrong direction, at least you can correct the course. So just go forward and step off that ledge and just be amazing. Oh, yes. Claire says, woohoo, thank you. Uh-oh. I better read this before. Okay. It's your wife. Mel, how have you taken yourself from health challenges in the past to taking charge of your health and wellness every day? Ooh, good. Nice.
Thank you. Yeah. So that if I were to answer that in one word or how about 2 words? Conscious awareness. Is being aware of what I'm putting in. So that starts with, it starts with awareness, right? Change starts with awareness. So my body was giving me a response that I didn't like, right? Because it was letting me know something was wrong. And that created pain and discomfort, and then, surgery. And it was just, it sucked. And so sometimes we need to feel that pain to make a change. Hopefully it doesn't come to that. The smart people will change before pain. But for me, health-wise, I needed that challenge. And so I drastically started to do a lot of research. And there's a lot of different research, and every body is different, right? So it's really just testing and trying and seeing really what works for you and how it makes you feel. So going from my old diet to my current diet and taking it easier on my digestive system and fasting one day out of the week and really getting rid of dairy and seeing how I felt, and getting rid of, eating meat 3 times a day and seeing how I felt, and going to the gym, seeing how I felt, even though I was resistant to going to the gym, right? Because that just wasn't a habit for me. I didn't do that every day. Well, now I can't go without it. And getting the blood flowing throughout the body, because dis-ease likes to hang out in stagnant blood, and you have to move to stay healthy. And that's a very important thing, because I've suffered from gout, which, I'll wake up in the morning and my foot will be inflamed. Usually I get it in my foot, and it's very, very painful. But I'll notice that happens, that's already a result of certain things, right? It's not like I just wake up and suddenly I have it. I'll then reverse engineer, okay, well, how did that happen? Did I eat something? Did I overeat on something? Did I use maybe, too much meat or too much oil or too much caffeine or something? What was it? And I'll have to deconstruct that and figure it out for myself, really. And then eliminating certain things and adding more nutrients in and taking vitamins and supplements. It's an ongoing adventure. It's an ongoing challenge. And that's the way I look at it, is like there is an answer. It's just I got to figure it out. And like Brian says, you gotta follow the experts, and you have to find somebody who already has the results you want. Somebody, there's plenty of people that we follow that have cystic fibrosis that are doing phenomenal, and we follow them. And then people who are just healthy and fit, and we test out their regimens. So,
yeah. And another great resource I learned about from you that because of you, I created one. It was called Fitnotherapy, is hypnosis. And the thing is, this is not just a shameless plug. It's something that works. I used to be in the fitness industry, as Mel knows, and many who personally know me are watching now. And part of that was getting the mindset right. And that was one of the reasons many people failed in any kind of fitness program. They would stop working out. They would go back to eating, Twinkies that are no longer available, thank God. There were so many other things that they'd go back to. And I remember one client of mine who is a mutual friend of Mel and I's, who went through the program and listened to the Fitnotherapy CD every night. He told me that, so part of it is, when you're in a grocery store, this is a perfect tip for everybody, can use this immediately. When you're in the grocery store, only shop the perimeter. Don't go down the middle aisles. That's where all of the nasty stuff is. There is some nasty stuff on the perimeter, but there is far, far less. So there's a lot of great natural, fresh produce, hint, hint, wink, wink, on the perimeter. And that was part of the hypnosis CD that my client listened to. And he said, the craziest thing happened to me. I was walking down the usual aisles I always went to, and I started down one of those middle aisles, and suddenly something just said stop, and I just turned around and went back to the perimeter. And so mindset, it's all about mindset everywhere you look. It's amazing.
And that's where, to make things that can seem difficult now into a unconscious, effortless pattern and habit, is one of the tools to do that is hypnosis. And so that's why hypnotherapy is really a gift for the mind and a gift for getting you to where you want to go, because it's reprogramming the unconscious mind at the deepest level.
And the cool thing with this is another lesson here, because all I did to create hypnotherapy literally was to model what Mel had done before me. He had CDs on confidence, on sales. What was the third? It's escaping me at the moment. You had 3 as well. And I remember snatching them all up. And I mean, I kid you not, I listened to the one about sales the day before, and that's when I was on your team and not yet speaking from stage yet, but we were helping to close some clients at the end of the seminar. And my confidence was unstoppable, and I made sales that I never thought I would imagine I could ever do before, because the price point for me used to be uncomfortable. Now it was like, it's just a price point. Who cares? And the stuff works. And I know that. That's the only reason I went as far as modeling and spending the time, the effort, recording it, getting CDs made, getting graphics made, just like Mel's talking about building Amazon. It's a process. But once you find something that works, be sure that first, number one, please be sure it's something that works, that has impact on people's lives, like Mel did with Vocal Eze, like he did with his seminar business, because it's so gratifying. It is gratifying to make money. It is even more gratifying to see the result that you have had a part in improving someone's life. So please keep that in mind, and always, be a product of the product. Don't go selling something that you yourself don't use or never would use. That is another piece of advice I like to throw out there. And we're just met the halfway point of our show. So
this is a 24-hour marathon, right?
Hey, a good buddy of ours, I tried to get him to come on too. He said he was busy. Chris Burns, who's been through, he does a 12-hour marathon, I think once or twice a week. It's amazing. That dude is just, that's energy for you. He's a young buck. Lori Hart, I think she was talking about the book. Yep, I think she was talking about the book. And Stan said, absolutely great books by Mel and John. Built to Sell, helped me turn my service into a product. Yeah, so that's the thing. These books are empowering if you know the right books to read, and that's what Mel has given you, is the right books. Goodness sakes. Before we go any farther, I've been flashing the banner. I've not mentioned it verbally, but for those of you that stayed on with us live to the end, and we're getting there, we're not there yet, because there's one lovely question I like to ask each of my guests before we part ways. And with you, Mel, you're never parting from me. You can't choose your family, because we're family. The thing is, I've been flashing on the screen, is I like to give away a 5-night vacation stay at a 5-star, notice the pattern there, resort in Mexico. We do this every single show.
Which is actually Brian's house in Mexico.
Sí, es verdad. Never mind. I'm not going to go into my Spanish. I actually dreamt in Spanish once. I kid you not, in high school. Really? And I always like to say, it was 100% Spanish. So then I followed up by, well, it was a very short dream. No, it wasn't. It was normal. But watch your screen for those of you watching that are here live, whether you're on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Periscope, the list goes on, Twitch. Here it is. And I'll remove the banner so you can see that a little better. And all you have to do is you do now have our permission to take your gaze from the screen very, very temporarily, and pull out your cell phone and type in this phone number in your text app, and type in 661-535-1624. And where you would normally type that message to say, Mel, I love you, you put the word PEAK, P-E-A-K, and hit the send button. So once again, as Mel is doing it right now, you do the same. Type in 661-535-1624, and then follow that up with the word PEAK in the message area, P-E-A-K. Tap the send button, and we will pick a random winner. And yeah, I always consider and leave in the bucket the guest speaker themselves, because this happens every single time. I can see him on camera, you cannot, and he's joining in. He's an action taker, and actions rewarded, like you said. So he's definitely in the running. So everyone do the same. And I can't wait to see who is the winner and to give that to the wonderful, lucky person. All right. So Mel, let's see. We've covered a lot tonight. Thank you so gosh darn much. What a wonderful, this has been a treat. Oh man. Oh man. I was alluding to the fact I like to ask this one question at the end, and it's kind of a, I don't know if it's a zinger, but it's an interesting, semi-powerful question that a lot of my guests answer. And I love to bring it up at the end because it has a profound effect. And I hope you haven't seen any of the previous shows and already know what the question is going to be, because the best questions are the most genuine and in the moment, and they're just phenomenal. And I know you're a pro. You're not like, there's no anxiety going on right now, like thinking, what the heck is he going to ask me? He's building this sucker up. No, look at Mel. He's stone faced. He's just smiling. Bring it, man. So here's the thing. This question, there is no such thing as a wrong answer. It's impossible to answer it incorrectly. It's just the opposite. The only correct answer is yours, because it's a personal question. And I'm not going to get into your personal business. It's just a personal question. Are you cool?
Cool.
All right. Just want to make sure, because we're going to lay it on you. All right. In all seriousness, I cannot wait to hear your response to this one. Mel Cutler, how do you define success?
I define success as, that's a good one. The first thing that popped into my mind is making every day better than the last. If you can do a little more, if you can be a little more, if you can help out a little bit more, if you can grow your business and help that extra person just a little bit extra than the day before, or the week before, or the month before, or the year before, and you have seen that growth, for me, that's success. And I actually didn't think I was going to answer it like that, because my 20-something self would have definitely said something where, millions of dollars and a house on the beach and this car and that. And now, being 30-something, that's it. It's every day there's some sort of success happening. You just got to find it. And at the end of the day, success is being healthy and with the person you love. Like waking up in the morning is a freaking success, and it's a huge one, because there's many people who don't and can't and haven't, and we have a very small period in time to enjoy this thing we call life. And if you can enjoy it with family and the people closest to you, then that's it. That's success. Like being able to drink that cup of coffee or tea. That's being on this show right now in this time and space. We will never get back the time we just spent together. This will never happen again, where all of us are on this right now in this moment. That's success. And if you can find a little bit of success and happiness in those moments, then you can't not live a successful life. Money, it'll come and it'll go. Everything comes and everything goes. It's very cyclical. So as long as you can and at the end of the day, money is just a measure of how many people you're serving. If the more people you serve and the more people that you bring value to that are willing to exchange their dollars, you'll make money. You can always make money doing anything. That's my belief. But success is just doing a little bit better every day and seeing progress and smiling and just, living life and being happy about it. And when you get into those moments, because we all do, I know I do, where you lose that momentum, being able to snap back into it immediately and reminding yourself, hey, I'm alive. Like I'm freaking alive right now. How, like I have 2 arms, 2 legs. I can talk. I can see things. Like this is magic in itself. And then everything else is just a bonus. That's success.
That was gorgeous. That was so well said. And you talked about being in your 20s. That's an interesting thing. All of the guests on my show, there isn't a single one who the focus of their answer was money. And I often bring it up to say that would be a different answer if you were just starting your business. But I have successful entrepreneurs on my show, and success means something different to every person, as I have found. The interesting thing, Mel, is no 2 people yet, and I'm over 80 shows into this, have answered it the same way. Isn't that amazing? Yeah. But the other cool thing is not one has made money the centerpiece of their reason for success, what their definition is. And I wanted to put up something your lovely wife was putting up. She's got Amazon on the brain, and she said, Amazon answer, and then said, whoops, amazing answer. That was a fun moment. And yeah, I just wanted to let everyone know what a gem this gentleman is, for you to spend this amount of time with me here, and not just me, with everyone who has stuck with us the entire show. I mean, the numbers just staying solid, and I appreciate all of you for coming on and watching. I hope you got in your text message to win. I hope you bought Mel's book so you can send them a receipt. If you don't recall any of that information, just watch the recorded video and fast forward to that section, or ask me directly. Come to social media and find out. And Mel, is there any way you would like folks to, before we go, I want to bring something up that you have a great project. So here's the thing, everyone out there, how many of you are ever curious about what is it like to have a day in the life of a Mel Cutler? What is it like to live in their house? What do they do for breakfast? Where do they go to celebrate? How do they hang out with their family? When do they ever go to like really cool, serious, somber places too? Everything in between, the good, the bad. I won't say the ugly, because none of it's ugly, but the highs and the lows, let's put it that way. Yeah. And even so much as bringing you into their lives, and you can watch as Mel is getting treatments for his CF. I mean, how many of you would be interested in actually getting into he and Kate's lives? I mean, in a healthy way, where you can actually watch and follow their journey as they go through this life together. I know I am. I watch every single one of them. I'm always curious about, I wonder what it's like to be in that house. I mean, I've been in your house before, but only for small stretches. And then when we leave, I'm sure you're on your best behavior until we leave. And then, then it gets real. That's the thing. They're real on this. I, for one, would love to share this, if you're okay with that, Mel, with your permission to share. And
we really made these videos and this YouTube channel for ourselves, kind of just to like have a time capsule of our adventures and what we do, and kind of just to rewatch and have a lot of fun. And it's just been a lot of fun to do it. But obviously, it's for the public. We want to build just fans and people and welcome people into our lives, and the challenges, because there's a lot of challenges, and especially with CF and the clinical trials and the medication and the therapies I do and all of that. It's just bringing a little bit more awareness to cystic fibrosis, and hopefully just gives people a little bit of inspiration and some giggles, some fun. They're short videos, so
it definitely has it. And everyone just go and subscribe. They're not there to sell anything. It's just to share their lives and to get connected with someone who, you're cut from a different cloth, my man. You're always, you preached a lot of things from stage, and the difference between you and most others, not all, but most, is that you practice daily what you preach. To this day, you're still stepping out of your comfort zone. I mean, that's the one thing of all the things about you that I noticed that really sticks out to me, is you're a fearless guy. You just keep doing it. I remember that you read a book on one week, and the next week you're having an impromptu training where you're training the content of that book. I mean, in depth, with PowerPoint, whiteboard, everything. And I'm just sitting there with my jaw on the ground like, this guy is freaking awesome, because he learns, then he this time he skipped the do, I think, and went straight to the teach. And that was so telling to me in so many ways. I just thought, yeah, it's about taking action, ladies and gentlemen. Just do it. Just take action and make, like he said earlier, make mistakes, make a lot of them, make them quickly and learn from them. Don't just make them to make them, learn from them and realize that didn't work. Let's move on. The faster you get through that process, and guess what? That will never go away. That will never go away. So the faster you get in the habit of doing that, the better for you, your family, and everyone around you. And
for sure,
the best thing you can do, though, is look up Mel's personal address, go stop by and, give them flowers and love and say, I'm here for dinner.
We got an extra room. You're welcome.
Love it. You know it. The next time I'm in the area, I am going to, even if I don't know your address, I will find you. There's that movie, right? And when I do, I'm not going to do anything bad. I'm going to love you. But yeah, please go check out the vancutlers.com. That actually goes directly to a YouTube channel, so it's easier to remember, and it's called the Van Cutlers. Okay, for those that may not know this, why is it called the Van Cutlers?
Well, it's a combination of our last names. So Kate's last name is Van Sprang, and mine is Cutler. And so we put it together, and we came up with the Van Cutlers.
And that speaks volumes right there. Not many men would even think about allowing that to happen. And you probably were the one that recommended it. I don't know. It's just, that's the way the two of you are. You're like this, inseparable. I love you both equally. I know you're still watching, Kate. I love you. I know it's late there. It's 10:07. We went a full half hour over, but that's what you get when you fall off in the beginning of the show. We punish you by keeping you on until, it's going to be like at least midnight. No, we're going to wrap it up. I appreciate you, my brother. I love you like a brother.
Thank you.
You have changed my life and so many others, and I know that we've seen a lot of them come on. Thank you, everyone, for coming on and giving comments and questions. I appreciate you as well. This has been something I've been looking forward to, as you know, Mel, for a very long time, and I so am happy that, this was the right time. It was the right time for this to happen, because look at you, man. You're the epitome of health. You're a handsome devil that, you were just getting more good looking as you got older. So this was the time.
Maybe a few more wrinkles. That's about it.
Hey, that's a sign of wisdom, baby. Wear them proudly. I know I do. And they get deeper and greater in quantity as you get older, and just love it. And thank you, Fifi Rose. She says you both rock. Yeah.
Definitely.
I can agree for at least half of the duo here. Yes, definitely. Appreciate you all. We're going to call it a night and let you all go to sleep and get that very, very deserved restful night. And until we meet again, I just want to say once again, thank you, Mr. Mel Cutler, for gracing this stage. Oh, man, it's just been an amazing ride for me personally. It has filled me to the brim. That's it for now. This has been the Mind Body Business Show. We'll see you again on the next episode. So long for now, and be blessed, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Thank you for watching and listening. This has been the Mind Body Business Show with Brian Kelly.